Dial-up. Before broadband existed, this was how the entire world connected to the internet. It worked by using a standard phone line to transmit data, and to get online, your modem had to literally call a number and establish a connection. The speeds were painfully slow by today's standards, topping out around 56 kilobits per second, and while it was connected, your phone line was completely tied up. Nobody could call you. Despite that, in the 1990s, it felt like magic. DSL. When people wanted faster internet without giving up their phone line entirely, DSL became the answer. It stands for Digital Subscriber Line, and it works over the same copper telephone wires as dial-up, but in a much smarter way. DSL separates the frequency it uses from voice calls, meaning you could browse the internet and receive phone calls at the same time. Speed varied heavily depending on how far your home was from the telephone exchange, but for most people in the early 2000s, it was a massive upgrade. Cable internet. This one travels through the same coaxial cables that deliver cable television into your home. Because those cables were built to carry a large amount of signal, they could handle significantly more data than old phone lines. Cable internet became widely popular in the late 1990s and 2000s, offering speeds that felt genuinely fast for the time. The one drawback is that the connection is shared with your neighbors, so during peak hours when everyone is online, speeds can slow down noticeably.
Fiber optic. Instead of copper wire or coaxial cable, fiber optic connections use thin strands of glass or plastic to transmit data as pulses of light. Light travels fast, which is exactly why fiber is the fastest consumer internet technology available today. It offers symmetrical speeds, meaning uploads are just as fast as downloads, which matters more than people realize when video calling or uploading large files. The challenge is infrastructure. Laying fiber cable is expensive and time-consuming, so it still isn't available everywhere. Satellite internet. For people living in rural or remote areas where cables simply don't reach, satellite internet has often been the only option. It works by beaming a signal from a dish at your home up to a satellite orbiting the Earth, and then back down to a ground station connected to the internet. Traditional satellite internet suffered from high latency, meaning there was a noticeable delay in every request because the signal had to travel tens of thousands of miles each way. Companies like Starlink have changed this significantly by placing satellites in much lower orbits, cutting that delay down dramatically. Fixed wireless. This type of internet skips physical cables entirely and instead sends a signal from a nearby tower directly to a receiver mounted on your home or building. It works similarly to how a mobile phone receives signal, but it's designed to stay in one place and deliver consistent broadband speeds. Fixed wireless is particularly useful in suburban or rural areas where laying fiber would be too costly. The quality depends heavily on line of sight between your receiver and the tower, and obstacles like trees or buildings can affect performance.
5G home internet. As 5G mobile networks expanded, internet providers began offering it as a home broadband option. A device inside your home picks up the 5G signal from a nearby cell tower and distributes it as Wi-Fi throughout your rooms. It requires no installation of cables or dishes, which makes setup almost effortless. Speeds can be impressive, sometimes rivaling fiber in areas with strong 5G coverage. The limitation is that performance varies based on how close you are to a 5G tower and how congested that tower is at any given time. Mobile data. Technically a personal internet connection, mobile data travels over cellular networks and follows you wherever you go. From the early days of 3G, which was just fast enough to load a web page slowly, to 4G LTE, which made streaming video on a phone genuinely practical, and now 5G, which pushes speeds higher than many home connections. Most people use mobile data through their phones, but it also powers portable hotspot devices that can share a connection with laptops and tablets. Coverage and speed depend entirely on which network you're on and where you're standing. Broadband over power lines. This one never became mainstream, but it exists. The idea was simple and clever. Use the electrical wiring already running into every home to also carry internet data. A special adapter plugs into a power outlet and converts the incoming data signal into usable internet. It showed early promise because almost every building on Earth already has electrical wiring, making it theoretically very accessible. In practice, interference from electrical appliances caused reliability issues, and fiber and cable infrastructure expanded fast enough that power-line internet never got the chance to become a serious competitor. Wi-Fi. One of the newest concepts in internet connectivity, Wi-Fi transmits data using visible light instead of radio waves. A special LED bulb flickers at speeds invisible to the human eye, and a receiver picks up those fluctuations and converts them into data. In controlled environments, Wi-Fi has demonstrated speeds far beyond what Wi-Fi can achieve. The obvious limitation is that light cannot pass through walls, so the connection only works within direct line of sight of the light source. It remains largely experimental for now, but in specific settings like hospitals or aircraft cabins, it has genuine potential.